we are back with another episode on Across the Board. Jaden, it's great to see you, buddy. How you doing today?
Good. How about you?
I'm here, man. Are you enjoying your summer break so far?
Yeah, summer's over, but yeah.
No. Before we know it, we'll be back on and going to school and all that crazy stuff. But we haven't gotten there yet, thankfully, and I hope it doesn't come anytime soon. But hey, welcome back to Across the Board. If you're new here, we cover a lot of sports all across the sports world, and we love to talk about it. So if that's of interest to you, go follow us, subscribe, like all our socials at Across the Board on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Amazon Music, all those good things. And today we got some good stuff for you. We're going to talk about the Chance Scottish Open this past weekend. Tom Kim, what a week for the man. Absolutely incredible golf. Gets his fourth win on tour, and really happy for him. And then we're going to give a little preview of the Open this week at Royal Birkdale.
Indeed.
Going to be a fun week. Got a lot to get into today, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. But Jaden, just the Scottish Open. Tom Kim, what a win. Gets his fourth win of his PGA Tour career.
Mm-hmm.
He moved up to 32nd in the FedEx Cup standings, which you talked about is huge for these guys.
Yep.
And he played well. It was a very competitive leaderboard, though. You know, we saw Minwoo Lee play well. He finished 2 shots behind him. Johnny Kiefer, he had a great week. Matt Fitzpatrick, Kia Nakahima, he played well. And just a really filled leaderboard. And he kept going down. Robbie McIntyre had a good week.
Mm-hmm.
Rory McIlroy, Michael Thornton, and just a lot of big names. But, you know, we had a fun tournament. And Tom Kim just played well off the tee. He was 9th in strokes gained off the tee this week.
Mm-hmm.
He was 2nd in strokes gained approach to green. He was 1st in strokes gained total. He was tied for 2nd in greens and regulation. He was 1st in scrambling. Just had a great week with his game. His game clicked, and he played some really solid golf. Obviously, he fired rounds of 65, 66, 68, 64. And, you know, we saw his name up top of the leaderboard the entire week.
Yeah.
You know, he again, with a 65, he fired up top of the leaderboard, and he stayed in that spot. We really didn't see him, dive down, really have that big dip.
Yeah.
But we also saw how clutch he was in that final round. He had a couple of par putts. I believe one of the first ones he made was on 13. You know, that was a big one to keep the momentum on his favor and keep him pushing. And then 18th, the huge one.
He was great, yeah.
That was the biggest one. Defend off Minwoo Lee. Sinks it. Takes a 2-shot victory. You know, what do you take away from this week from a lot of these guys and really going into this week now with the Open? But what do you really take away from this week from Tom Kim's game?
Tom Kim looked great. He was one of my dark horses. So happy about that. Dark horses played pretty well this week too. Overall. So I mean, he looked great. I knew going into it that he had a good chance to win this week, just because of how he'd been playing recently. Ever since the U.S. Open, he's kind of found his groove. Finally found his game again, and I mean, he found it this week. Not an easy field. Basically, most of the field's gonna be playing in the Open this week, so just a different golf course. And he played amazingly. His game looked great. His irons looked amazing. I mean, he did all he possibly needed to do to win this tournament. And like you said, he was clutch on Sunday, and that's all he needed to do. Other than that, though, I think the only other big takeaway is that Scotty missed the cut.
That was my big one. I want to get into next. I mean, he was 11 and 26 for fairways.
Yeah.
And his iron play just was not there.
Yeah.
And you have those. I believe the streak, he was at 78.
Yep.
Straight made cuts. Unfortunately, comes to an end for him. He played rough. But it's a new week for him. Of course, with the Open, trying to defend his title.
Exactly.
Trying to defend it.
Yeah.
But a lot of players, like, you look at Rory, he really just had one bad round. He fired the 73 in round 3, kind of put him out of it, but he played a great 4th round, shot 64, put his game back together. Chris Goddard played well. Just in that final round, he fired off 71, couldn't really get going.
Sadly.
And you got Tommy Fleetwood. He didn't play bad golf this week. I mean, there were a lot of names, and those are 3 to look at. I mean, going into this week, I'm looking at, especially. I mean, I'm expecting to see them within that top 15.
Yeah.
But, after this week at the Genesis, I think Tom Kim was absolutely incredible. And what a huge win for him. Gets his 4th win. And big for the FedEx Cup points, obviously. Playoffs around the corner coming soon. He moves up to 32nd. and that is huge for him. And what a fun week at the Genesis Scottish Open.
For sure.
But coming up next on Across the Board, going to break down the Open Championship, give a little insight, and give our picks and predictions for this week at the Royal Birkdale. And we are back on Across the Board. Time to get into the Open Championship this week, coming off the Genesis Scottish Open. And we're excited for a fun week at the Royal Birkdale Golf Club. A lot of fun golf to be played this week. Scotty Scheffler looking to hold his title, looking to defend it. After missing the cut last week at the Genesis, looking to have a bounce back week. Now, going to be interesting, okay? The fairways out here this week, absolutely rock hard. Solid as can be. Hitting a 6-iron or a very high iron into the green, yeah, it's going to be hard to stop. So I think I'm very interested to see how they kind of navigate that. You know, what the strategy is shot wise, you know, from distances, and you know, how are they going to play going to these greens? How aggressive are they going to be? I think it's going to really make this course challenging, as you know it is.
Yep.
Open's always challenging. Conditions, going to see some wind as always, because when do you not? But I think just the fairway conditions itself going to the green is going to make this course very interesting in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now going to this week, like you look at the field, okay. You know, you got Rory, Scotty, Tommy, basically everybody who played the Genesis coming back again this week. Okay, they played a similar style golf course, looking to bring it here. What are you kind of expecting to see this week after last? Are you expecting a lot of similarities in style of play, or do you think there's going to be some differences, maybe with how the strategy is?
I would say this last week at the Genesis, it was a little softer at the greens, especially. This week, probably going to see everything a little firmer, especially with the fairways being as firm as they are. That's going to bring in maybe a little bit more trouble off the fairways because they can easily roll through. So you might see a little bit of different strategy off the tee than you saw at the Scottish Open. Usually at the Scottish Open, you can get away with kind of just banging driver everywhere and like just dealing with what you got. This week, I don't think that's really what you're going to see as much. I think you're going to see a lot of irons off the tee or a lot of shorter clubs, getting them to roll out, and keeping them in the fairway. Other than that, though, I think, like you said, it's still the same similarity in, course style. So it's not like just you're going to a completely different type of course. So they're still going to play kind of the same link style golf that, you're going to have a lot of maybe putting from off the fringe. You have a lot of long putts, and rolling things up the greens, stuff like that. All the stuff you usually see in the Open. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be just a harder challenge than it was last week.
For sure. And we already talked about the conditions. There's going to be some wind. And again, I think just seeing how they're going to navigate from the fairway with a longer iron in hand. I mean, like I said, we saw how hard the fairways are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of strategy can be played coming in this week. And you look into this week with the players, like Scotty looking to bounce back.
Yeah.
Can he defend his title? Rory, he's played solid last week, had one bad round.
Yeah.
What can Tommy Fleetwood do this week? Right? I mean, a bunch of big names, and I think I'm very interested to see how they really navigate the conditions and navigate the style, because I think it's going to require a lot more. Obviously, every shot you take requires some thinking, but I think there's going to be a lot more strategy played on some longer holes. And the course, obviously, playing longer. This way, I believe it was 73.
72, 93 or something. It was really close to 73.
Yeah, it was around 1,700 yards, but it's going to be a longer golf course. But the fairways being the way they are, I mean, it may not really even.
It's not going to play as long.
But I still think the wind's going to be a big factor as well.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they navigate this week. Going to be a fun course. Now, dark horses, who are some guys that you are looking at going this week that are above 3,000 in the odds that you think could win this week?
Well, I think I think just to start off, with the course being the way it is, obviously I think distance doesn't play as big of a crucial role this week as it did last week. So the longer hitters aren't going to have as much of an advantage because of the fact that the fairways are so hard. They might not be able to hit driver while the guys can or roll out as much. Then also it's going to take a lot from around the green, so going to take a really good short game. Always does at the Open, or a really good iron game because it's going to challenge you with accuracy. You're going to have to hit spots. So just trying to look at guys that have kind of played good as of recent, but also taking account of maybe they're good at those things or shot shape, stuff like that help. First guy at plus 3,000, I think it's simple. Chris Gowrup.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he won 2 weeks ago at the John Deere. He played good last week at the Scottish Open. Was up on the top of the leaderboard for a little while, and then had a bad last round.
Yeah, he shouldn't really get anything going.
Yeah, I mean,
he still played well.
Definitely. He likes these style golf courses. He played really good at the Open last year. I mean, obviously he is a long hitter, but I also think with the big cut, it's a little more spin. If it's really windy, it's going to affect him a lot, but a little more spin. He does control his irons quite well. He's pretty accurate with those. So I think he can put some numbers out there, some low numbers. I think he could definitely play as good as he has been. And also, I just like the pattern that he has. He wins, and then like 3 weeks in a row, he's really good, and then he falls off a cliff. But for a couple weeks, and he's back. So he's still within those 3 weeks. So I like it. But he's sitting right there at plus 3,000, so covers the line. And then the second guy is Tom Kim. Easily, I mean, he won last week. Why not? He's been playing amazing golf ever since the U.S. Open, and now going into the Open. I think he's still playing wonderful golf, obviously. Won in Scottish. He hit his irons really well. He's pretty accurate off the tee, so that helps. And then his putter can be amazing. So I think if he can do that this week, he could easily win back-to-back, 2 weeks in a row, if that's the case. Obviously, any of these guys can, but he could definitely win. He's just been hot. He sits there right at plus 5,000. So I think he's a good pick, to be honest. Like, dark horse last week, dark horse this week. He played really good. I mean, hopefully he doesn't.
Might want to carry it over.
I don't know. My third guy is going to be Minwoo Lee, also a guy that played really good last week.
Just finished behind Tom Kim.
Also a guy I thought of taking dark horse last week and sadly didn't, but really wanted to. Obviously he's a long hitter, but he can easily hit irons off the tee and it still go a mile. So I think that does kind of help to a degree. And he doesn't have to hit a lot of drivers, which obviously driver hasn't been like his best thing over the past probably year. So he can't put himself in as much trouble, I don't think, if he's hitting a lot of irons off the tee. But then, at the same time, I think his short game is good enough. He likes these length style golf courses. He likes those longer putts. He's really good from around the green and the tight lies that you're going to have. He can obviously hit his irons a long way with his course being long. That helps. But he spins the ball a good bit. He can keep it low underneath the wind. We know that for sure. And I think he's just a great pick, especially sitting at plus 6,000. He looks good. And then last but not least, just because he's sitting at plus 10,000, so way out there. But he won here in 2017. He's played all right. Hasn't played amazing, but just for the plain and simple fact that his short game is incredible. He's one of the best in the world at that. Jordan Spieth. I mean, I just think that's a simpler way to put it. Maybe some magic for 2017 comes back to him, and he can do something this week. Put himself in contention just going into Sunday, hopefully. Just going into the weekend. That's really kind of what we want to see from Jordan Spieth, because he hasn't been able to do that. His short game's amazing. His irons can be great. They've been up and down, though, so he's going to have to do that really good. But if there's anybody who can be as creative around the greens as anybody on planet Earth, it's Jordan Spieth. So I just feel like that helps him this week, especially with how those greens are and how hard they're going to be and what the fairways and grass is going to be like.
For sure, man. Mason, I love those picks. I like those dark horse picks. Love them a lot. Going to be a fun week. Now, it is that time, okay?
Yeah.
The
time I always hate it because I just never get it right.
I don't think any of us have gotten it right. As a matter of fact, since we've been doing this.
I think I got one right.
I think you got one. But this could be our week.
Could be.
To pick our winner.
Could be. It's been a while.
Okay. It's been a while. But a lot of good golfers in the field this week, so not going to be easy.
Yeah.
To say the least.
It's the Open. Anybody could win, basically.
But with this stacked field, who is your guy, Jaden? Who is going to be your winner?
Probably the guy who missed the cut last week. It's like you stare at him, you go 78 in a row, he finally misses one.
Time to start the streak
back.
Time to start the streak again, I guess.
He's not going to beat Tiger's streak anymore. It's just not happening. He got halfway there and then failed. Just shows how absolutely incredible that is. But I just don't see how he does back-to-back bad weeks. He's played 15 tournaments. He's placed top 25 in 14 out of 15. The only one he didn't was this last week, and he missed the cut. His highest placement before that was 22nd. He's placed outside the top 20 only 2 times of the 15 tournaments he's played. He's placed outside the top 10 only. He's placed inside the top 10 out of 15 tournaments he's played. He's got to get a win eventually, right? He's only got one win, and it's way early in the season. So, he just got to defend the title this week. And I feel like if anybody, almost like it was on purpose, even though obviously it wasn't, but almost like it was on purpose for him to miss the weekend just so he could go practice because that's where he was Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I think he gets it done. I think Scotty does it. Scotty Scheffler is my pick. Just right there. Just signed, sealed, delivered. Hopefully he wins every time I pick him, he doesn't win, but
hey man, whatever. There you go. So a couple guys, really 3 of them I'm looking at. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably the top 3.
It's the 3 of them that are below the favorite. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Now I'm looking at Tommy Fleetwood because again, obviously it's the Open, but Tommy, man,
so much pressure. So much pressure to win this week.
He's the best golfer to not win a major. Okay, that's just set in stone.
That could be debated.
I think he is, though.
Sam Burns.
There is Sam Burns, too, though. Interesting.
Cameron.
Okay, dude, that's enough for you. Okay. But Tommy Fleetwood, this guy played solid last week. He played good at the Scottish Open. I think his game is good enough to win. I feel like it has been
sure.
If
there's anybody, yeah.
I like his game. I think he just has to put it all together. Okay, I think that's kind of been the thing. I think he's put it together, but he just hasn't. There's been times he hasn't quite necessarily hit that stride, maybe in those tournaments, maybe in those moments.
4 good rounds.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Now, 2, Matt Fitzpatrick. I think this one's self-explanatory. Another guy who's been playing some great golf. Okay. Got great game. Okay.
Yeah.
He's won a major.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And his game has been good. He's been playing great golf. He could easily win this week. Like a lot of these guys could.
I think it's basically the whole field, yeah.
It really is. But to my winner of the week.
Okay.
Who
you got winning this week?
This guy's been playing good. Okay. Last week had just a round that set him back.
Yep.
But you know what?
I think I know who you're picking because
minor setback for a major comeback.
Okay, but that's more like Scotty than Rory.
It really is. But I think it fits here just fine. Okay. Because Rory McIlroy is getting it done this week at the Open.
Okay.
He played well last week. Again, he had 1 round.
Yeah. No, he played great.
The 3rd round didn't do any justice, but he played well last week. I think he's going to bring that same thing back in this week, except that 3rd round's going to be good. He's going to put 4 good rounds together, and we're going to see him up top of the leaderboard at the Royal Birkdale.
Well, there you go. Maybe find some more magic when that second major this year.
Hey, man, I'd appreciate that.
Be a long time.
It would be. It would be. But Jaden, appreciate you for being here with me.
Yep.
And that's going to do it from us two at Across the Board. Hope y'all enjoyed today. Go follow us on our socials for when we get new content out at Across the Board at TikTok, Amazon Music, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, all those good things. Love how I never say those in order. I just flip the order every time I say that. But go follow us, go like, comment, subscribe, do all those great things. And we hope to see you next time on Across the Board.